Wow. Starting off with some comments already. That's super nice. Happy Saturday. And thank you so much for your kind words, Caroline. I'm glad that you have found this. I'm really, really honored to offer free material and healings, and it's very fun work for me. So today, welcome in everyone. My name is Mary Lisa. I am a psychic healer, and we do a lot of things on this channel, but today we're going to be working on looking through what's currently blocking us towards getting in our vortex, right? Our vortex is basically us being in alignment with our higher self, so much so that all the gifts, all the abundance, all the love, everything starts just flowing to us. It's being in our stream of wellness. If you're not in alignment with your higher self, you're in resistance. If you're in resistance, you're trying to force things to happen just because you think they need to happen because society told you, because you're stuck on this idea, but it doesn't even feel good. You don't even know why you're trying to make it happen. That's what resistance feels like. So we're going to run this session a little bit differently. I've been doing live money healings for the past 2 weeks now on Zoom. If you guys are interested in that, those are on my website. And I have been starting it off with a psychic reading, which has been a fun way to get more information about what's currently blocking us. So I think that I'm going to do that. You hear me use the name of my healing master. His name is John Michael. So if you would like a healing on your law of attraction, getting in your vortex, please consent to receive healing from me and my healing master. And just be open. I'm going to start by doing a psychic reading, and this will apply to anyone who is currently attracted to this video and who will be watching it in the future. It's exactly how the group biofield tunings work, so this will be kind of a fun new experience. Okay, so welcome in, welcome in. We're going to get here together, so take a deep cleansing breath with me. Palms facing up, eyes closed, back straight. This is how you enter into self-trance. This is how your body is going to start to remember, oh, I'm changing my brain waves. So I'm just going to describe the healing that I do for you now. I want you to create a grounding cord that will help you connect you to your vortex, put you in alignment with your higher self. Notice the color of that grounding cord and say hello to it. Female-bodied people, pull it up over your sacral chakra, and male-bodied people, pull it up over your root. And just let it drop through, falling through the earth. As it approaches the center of the earth, plug it in. Make sure you're connected. And then with your awareness back up here, find the on switch and activate your grounding cord. You're going to let go of anything in the way of you being in receiving mode. Let go of old triggers, fears, ideas about lack and separation. Just laugh as you flush them down your grounding cord. What silly ideas, thinking we're separate from source, right? Just let it know anything in the way of you and your attraction point. Drop it down the grounding cord. Head back down to the center of the earth and ask Mama Gaia for a earth energy that will support your manifestations. As she gives you the color, maybe you ask her, what is this for? Get a reading off that color, that vibration. I've been getting the same messages over and over again, and that is the more you connect to joy, the more you manifest. And so John Michael is being really clear right now. This session is going to drive that point home for a lot of us. If you are overthinking about the thing you want, and you're like, oh God, I've wanted this for so long, then you're not in a good place to manifest that thing, because there's too much negative emotional patterning around that manifestation. Okay? So as we talk about in those money healing clinics, you need to pull yourself out and become neutral. Find a place where you don't care about that thing anymore. Like, whatever. If I never get it, I will have to be okay. So I'm going to learn how to be okay. And then you guessed it. It has the ability to start to flow to you again. Oh my goodness. Thank you so much, Spencer. That's very kind of you. Okay, so this new energy from Earth, open up your feet chakras, let it flow into your feet, up your calves, into your knees, swirl around all your joints. That's where energy tends to get stuck. Pull it up into your thighs, swirl it around your hips, into your root, and down your grounding cord. These are your leg channels. We talk about them in my intuitive development course, but if your leg channels are clogged or they're narrow, if they've got stuck energy, then you won't be able to move toward your manifestations. You will be held back. So do you tend to get knee injuries, foot injuries a lot? Is your IT band tight? These are all conditions of having stuck energy in our leg channels. So allow that earth energy to flow through the leg channels down the grounding cord. Good job. From the center of your head, I want you to see your ascension cord. If you can't see one, imagine a long, translucent cord shooting up into the sky, plugging into the great central sun. The great central sun is your point of origination, so it is where all parts of you, your whole soul, your higher self, resides. So the more you are in alignment with higher self, the clearer the messaging, the stronger the patterning. Synchronicities get stronger, opportunities start flowing, things become easier. The more you can practice that alignment. Create the imaginable says, what if I'm so good at successful manifestation that it brings a lot of haters? Then it sounds like you are manifesting haters as well, which there's nothing wrong with that. If you practice the law of attraction, you would take your energy away from that and you would focus on, wow, I enjoy your manifestations. Let this be a moment. Mary Lisa from YouTube really enjoys that I can manifest. Change that frequency. Okay, back to it. Up at the edge of the universe, you see Sky Daddy. And you're like, hey, Sky Daddy, here's a golden rose. Thank you for watching over me. And then ask for a cosmic energy that will support your manifestations. And see the color, the vibration. How is Source supporting you? Bring this to the crown of your head. Let it wash through. And then open up the 2 channels at the back of your neck. 4 down your back. 2 at the base of your spine, and then into your root chakra. Down the grounding cord. Okay. These back channels, you guys, your back is about receiving. So how good are you at receiving? Maybe if you're too good at receiving, you're creating everything too fast. Maybe you want to narrow your back channels. But for most of us, we're better at giving than receiving. So practice widening your back channels and allow this cosmic energy to flush them. Okay. In your root chakra, now I want you to make a blend of 90% cosmic, 10% earth energy. See this new color and read it. What's the color saying to you? Mine turned a light orange and it says, enjoy more. She said, enjoy more, bitch, but your energy probably isn't that aggressive with you. So allow this new vibration to wash through and update all your contracts and your karma in your root. Allow it to wash through and update all the contracts and karma in your sacral chakra. Allow it to wash through and update all the contracts and energy in your solar plex chakra. Wash through and update in your Tiphareth, and then in the heart, and then in the throat. And then up your telepathic channels into your third eye. Out your crown. Big fountain out your crown. This is now flushing your front channels. And as it falls down around, I want you to see how it's touching all 7 layers of your aura. We need to update the energy and contracts in our auras as well. Okay. Make sure you're in the center of all of your auras. And then bring a little bit down from your upper 4 chakras into your creative channels. So a bit from your crown, from your third eye, from your throat and your heart. Melt it down your arms, big fountains out your palms. Sounds like an emotional pattern there. Loving to give, hating to receive. I wonder if you're ready to work on it or if that's something that you are okay with. Okay. So John Michael is also saying that we're working through a lot of air patterns right now. He's saying that we use our mind too much in our manifesting. It's not a mind power, it's a magnetic power. So our manifesting from here on out will be more about the emotions that we can create. So if you're overthinking something, you're killing the manifestation. If you're feeling into it, it's a good indication of how you feel about that, which you're trying to manifest, right? Okay, so let's see. All right, now I'm going to enter into the psychic read. So you can just receive this part. Okay. Okay, so I see a rose, and this is just a representative. If you guys haven't seen me read before, I do what's called the classical training, which means I'll just describe the metaphor and then I'll interpret it. So, for all of us that are watching and who will watch, our current energy around manifesting and law of attraction and receiving, what we desire, it's really, the rose looks like a glass. And so, all of our higher selves have created this energy to show me right now. And it feels, it's almost like in between glass and steel. So it feels very rigid. And what John Michael is telling me is that we receive a lot of information from the internet, from books, all these things about how we're supposed to do, what we're supposed to do, manifest like this, do it like that, yes to this, no to that. Like there's so much conditioning around the manifesting that we've made it more of a brain thing than a heart thing. And so collectively, all of our higher selves would like us to fucking relax more with our manifesting. So that's what we're going to do right now. We're going to heal that. So John Michael's just going to ground this rose, and it's actually a resistance, and this is a pattern. So this has a lot of new age patterning, is what John Michael is saying about rigidity. And so oftentimes when we say things have to be done like this or they have to be done like that, that's a classic understanding that things have gone a little bit too rigid and not everything will be right for everyone at that time. And so what we're doing is we're just relaxing the stakes. So we're draining a lot of rigid energy from our manifesting. And it's almost like quicksilver, like just draining out of this rose that the higher selves are showing me. And there's yellow underneath that. And this yellow rose is about an understanding, which is interesting because it's not so much about it's not about like taking advice. And I think what it is, oh yeah, there's some light pink in there. So it's about asking yourself your best way to do something. And when you ask yourself, how do I want to make this happen? Does what this person say to me, does that resonate with my heart? Does that feel good in my heart? Because your heart is a direct connection to your higher self, which is who we are, right? So you're either in resistance to yourself or you're in alignment with yourself. So right now, all of your selves are collectively saying, ask your heart for answers rather than accepting everything that people say on the internet. Hello, like if I ever say something that you have to ask yourself, like, do I resonate with that? Is what Mary Lisa is saying right for me right now? Because it's not always, you know? And so when that happens, when you start to trust your inner understanding, it makes your vortex so much stronger because self-trust and self-reliance is alignment with higher self. And it's like this yellow and this pink start to swirl. And it's really opening up a lot more movement. And so when I see this kind of movement in the reading space, what it means to me is that there's an opening for a lot more opportunities, a lot more chance meetings, synchronicities. It really is like if you've ever seen the Disney movie Pocahontas and she's like singing with her grandmother in the forest and you see all those flower petals swirling around. That's kind of what it looks like around the rose right now. It's creating a vortex of what feels good. So asking your heart, connecting to your heart and saying, is this right for me right now? What do I have this goal of like wanting to start a business, for example, but like when I try to do this part X, like my heart falls. Okay, so maybe that's higher self telling me there's a better way to do this. So it's about listening to the heart. Okay, so let's see. Am I done with the rose reading? No, I'm not. Okay, so they want me to look at a bit more. So there is some white energy. So the collective of us is working against some what's it called? Self-sabotage behavior that we are unconscious of. I see a lot of self-sabotage behavior when it comes to love and money. And I'll say it to the client. They're like, I don't do that. I'm like, yeah, you do. Your energy is showing me that you do. And so just be really open to how this self-sabotage behavior is coming up for you. So let's see how that's currently working. Okay, now we can go look at the earth energy. So John Michael, show me where this self-sabotage behavior is living. Right shoulder, right hip, into the groin, and down the inner thighs. Okay, so is this erasable? Is this dichotomies? Okay, so there's a lot of spaces we're going to go look at, but your capacity, your resistance right now, our resistance right now collectively is we're about 60% resistant. So by the end of the session, we want everyone to be at 0% resistant, and I'm going to check everyone's alignment, but we're working on, let's see, the right shoulder first. So what is this? So this is a common distraction technique that I wouldn't say that people try to distract us on purpose, but I just talked about this in one of my classes. There's a war for our consciousness, for our attention, because consciousness creates reality. So wherever you put your attention, it causes the plasma, which responds to collective organization, to organize around that will or intention. So if you're distracted on the right shoulder with like looking, and finding things to be angry about, like the news is a classic example of like, coming on at 5, kid got punched in the face by a goat. Can you freaking believe it? And it's just like, God, they're reporting on so much tragedy, and there is a lot of tragedy going on around us in our neighborhoods and our states and stuff like that. But there's also a lot that's not tragic that's going on. So it's a selective consciousness thing. And so paying attention to the things that you don't like is directly preventing you from manifesting. So you're adding anger and frustration at what you see going on around you, and it's just heightening those things. And so John Michael wants to big release. John Michael wants to release that. It's almost like a cap, like a Lego. We're just like uncapping it from the right shoulder. That's funny. He's kind of replacing it with like a parrot. And anytime that, and this parrot is like an energy reminder. So it's like when you start being like, ugh, can you believe, my coworkers are so bad at their jobs or whatever, it's going to squawk at you. It's going to be like, bop, 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 don't engage. Like if you want to keep talking about what's going wrong, be prepared for things to continue to go wrong. Okay. So John Michael is replacing that, and all of your higher selves agreed with that. So that's great. They're going to try to get your attention, like pay attention. Do you want to be talking about this, feeling about this? Okay, now it goes to the right hip. John Michael, can you interpret that for me? Okay, so this is a rigidity. So it's kind of like where the psoas muscle wraps around the hip. It's like in between the root chakra and the sacral chakra. And this has to do with being really rigid about how things turn out. If you put conditions on your manifestations, it's really limiting. It will not allow the energy to move, right? So what's happening is it's showing me that this muscle, this energy pattern has become so stuck about like, my life needs to look like this and it needs to happen like that and it needs to be by this date. And so there's so much rigidity, you're missing all the other beautiful things that could be happening, right? Because you're focused on this like one little thing and you're like, it better freaking happen like this. And then life is like waving its arms around you like, look over here. Please, for the love of God, pay attention to all of the other beautiful things. So we're going to remove that rigidity, and it has to do with effort. John Michael is saying that we put too much effort in. Like if you're efforting, you're forcing, it's like this grabby kind of energy. And so we really just want to be in our flow state a lot more, because flow state is about receiving. So ask yourself, how comfortable am I with not doing anything? Okay, because a lot of us, that is the biggest energy block to receiving. In order to receive, you have to be in that paused, open space. Yeah. Okay, so how does John Michael want to remove that? He's just kind of scrubbing it with a sponge, really easy, really gentle. And it's actually opening up the muscle fibers too, making it stronger, more flexible. That feels good. So he's adding some more joy, more directive movement. Because here's the thing, we're meant to move and act and go get things, right? But we're not meant to be constantly in motions. It's like a train, a runaway train a lot of the times. We need to be able to pause and listen and be like, okay, over here, and be like, ooh, does this feel good? Okay, no, pivot. That's the whole thing about divine masculinity, about divine right action. It's not just like continual motion forward because we live in a toxic hustle culture. Okay, so let me come back to the okay, he's gently scrubbing it off, and he's patching it up with like, it's almost like if I was a doctor and it was like, tissue, like a skin graft is what it looks like. He's just skin grafting it, making it stronger and more flexible. Okay, and then down both the inner thighs. That's really interesting. I've not seen that before. So what is that about? So it's about purpose. And I'm getting a really big hit about the back, left, low back. Don't, he looks like he's about to bark. Okay, so what we want to do is talk about purpose for a bit. And I don't know why this is coming up, might be relevant to everyone here, but purpose is not like you are meant to do this thing in life. For most of us, hey, sit. For most of us highly spiritually evolved individuals, it's more about like certain energies that we bring with us. So a lot of times when I read clients, they're like, okay, what am I supposed to do with my life? I'm like, it's not a do with your life. It's a experience with your life. You're meant to experience more joy in this life. You're meant to learn how to love deeper in this life. And so that's coming up a lot. Like purpose for this reading is not about a doing. A lot of the times there are many paths for us, and it's more about the vibration we bring. Like, let's say you're meant to be a teacher. It doesn't necessarily mean at a school. You could be an online course teacher and change the world. If you're an explorer, it doesn't mean, like there's so many different meanings to the different archetypes that we're born into completing. So that's just what John Michael wanted me to reiterate. It's more about archetype, I guess, is a good word. So that's changed to some light blue. What do you want me to do with that? He actually wants to increase that flow. So this is a divine flow. I'm not, yeah, he does want to bark. He's being such a good boy. So I asked if this energy should be removed, and John Michael said no, it should be increased. And I've never seen energy flow there. So I'm just gonna see what happens. So he's saying this is like, this is gonna sound funny, but it's like the nectar of the gods, like flowing down from your root through your thighs. And I know it has like a certain like sexual connotation to it. And there is something related to that because it's a very powerful creationary force. And it's, John Michael just wants to increase it. And he's saying this is very purposeful because everyone who's going to be watching this is really aligning themselves with what feels good. And what feels good is part of their purpose. Okay. What feels good is part of your purpose. He doesn't care if it's small or big. If what feels good is having a second cup of coffee today, do it. If what feels good is sticking up for yourself with someone who is rude to you, then do it. If what feels good is being the bigger person and not saying anything at all, do it. Make yourself feel good. And that is how you stay in alignment and stumble into higher and higher purpose unlockings. So let's see what else John Michael wants me to do. Okay, he just wants me to check the flow. So most people are incorrectly running earth energy. So let me correct that right now. It's running in front of the feet, and I want it to get behind. There we go. Okay. So we're just changing a lot of the vibrations that come out of the central channel right now, because the Hara line, it connects you from the great central sun into your being, which is your incarnation. There's your monad, where it's like your purpose. You have your purpose here on earth. And then it connects you to the earth. So having a clear central channel is incredibly important to receiving guidance and then making it manifest. Sun and earth. Okay, so let's see. Okay, John Michael, what else would you like me to do? Let's see the resistance. Resistance is still at 4, so I find that really interesting. I'm actually going to call in and remove, where's more resistance? Okay, it's all down the back, and it's black energy on the back. And so this is more like a pattern where it has to do with guilt, and it has to do with self-protecting. So if you've ever felt guilty for wanting to do something for yourself, or you were made to feel guilty for making choices for yourself, or you didn't trust that people would support you or lend themselves their love, their help to you, that's what's causing this like black sheet of energy down the back. So John Michael said that was super easy to clear. Okay, John Michael, what else can we do to increase their manifesting power? Okay, so we're just increasing your voltage all the way from your feet up to your head with like a deep golden energy. And we're filtering it through all layers of your aura. Okay, so here's the next thing he wants me to do. He wants me to adjust the 6th layer of your aura, which is in relationship to your perception. And I do this a lot in the with clients and in the Zoom calls with people who want to change their abundance or relationship. You have to first change your idea about it, because you're probably running a pattern that has a negative view on that thing you're trying to manifest, right? A very classic one is women who say like, ugh, men are the worst. And then they like want a man in their life. It's like, well, okay, so can you see how that pattern doesn't match what you're trying to manifest? So it's good to take a look at the 6th layer of the aura, and let's see what's going on in there collectively. It is purple and green, light green, but okay. So there's a little bit of fear right now in the 6th layer of the aura. I feel like everyone here who is watching and will watch has like a pretty clear idea that we're responsible for our vibrations. However, there is a fear that it has to do with like if you see something going on and you think people expect you to get mad, like, hey, aren't you so angry that they're raising gas prices? Can you freaking believe it? And they like people want you to get upset and want you to engage in these thought patterns and emotional patterns with them. So that's where the split is right now. It's like, better, but like, oh, it's so easy to match those unhelpful vibrations in other people. So that's where the split is. It's currently messing you up. So Okay, so let's fix that. And it's beautiful, you guys. It's beautiful to see where we can still work on ourselves. Like I 100% I promise you that anything that I am saying out loud, it's because I've experienced or I've seen in a client and we've worked through it. There is no judgment. No judgment. So this is a safe place to like explore all of this stuff. Okay, so we're looking through the sixth layer and we're actually going to make it a light orange and yellow with swirls. Okay, that's really, really beautiful. So this is about seeing joy and like pleasure everywhere. And pleasure is not just like about the physical nature. It's about the senses, more pleasing food to eat, more pleasing textures. Like it's about enjoying life, being creative, like being silly. So we're changing that vibration of the pattern in the sixth layer of your aura to that of more joy and like um, joy and enjoyment. Yeah. So let's see. Enjoy yourself. Be simple is what John Michael is saying. Okay, interesting. Let's make sure all the rest of your auras agree with this. So you know the first, chakras to agree with this. The root chakra does not agree with this, and this is very classic. A lot of the times when I try to adjust people's financial wealth, the first thing that screams is the root chakra, because the root chakra is the part of us where our nervous system is related, right? It's like, don't do anything out of the ordinary because I don't know how to predict the outcome. Therefore, it tries to keep you from doing different things. It's saying, no, 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 that's scary. We don't want to do that. We're not open to change. No, thank you. So let's go see why our root chakra are yelling at us. Okay, there's black. So other people's energy. So this is like other people's storytelling. And John Michael is saying that it's probably best that like you start telling yourself the stories of how you want your life to look. Don't do that with other people. Don't put your little baby creation in the hands of others so that they can with their closed mind be like, that's not what's happening for you. That's not what's going on. That's not how reality works. Don't do that. Don't put yourself in that position. So we're cleaning other people's energy off your root, like the naysayers. That's what we're doing. And start telling yourself stories of how you want it to go. I earn $2,000 a week and I take 4 vacations a year, and wherever I go I'm respected and people love me, and I know who I am and I feel comfortable in my body. Start telling yourself those stories, and then reality will have to match you. So we're pulling you out of your root, where your root says that's not real, that's not happening, that's not real, that's not happening. Don't get stuck in the third dimension. You know that what you see is because you've already created it. So you have to continue to tell yourself the stories with happy feelings. And then you'll start to see the third dimensional reality match that which you have already created. Okay, John Michael, is there anything else we need to do in the room? We need to baby it. We need to swaddle it and be like, hey, relax. I'm in charge. I'm in charge. Whenever my ego starts telling me nasty stories like, that's not what's happening, like, you're lying to yourself, blah, 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 negative, 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 you look stupid, I imagine it as like a dog, and I pull it out of my head and keep it on a leash and be like, hey, you're okay. Don't be so mean. Just stay there. I'll feed you later, right? So separating ourselves from those stories and be like, shh, quiet down there. Quiet down now. Okay. Yeah, it's like we're nursing a baby right now is what it looks like. Okay. John Michael, anything else? Okay, we're just wrapping you up in gold to seal all of this healing. We're assigning one Maria being with you to hold on to this healing for about 3 weeks. And it is up to you guys to maintain your own energy, right? Do you have your own energetic practices to maintain all that we've done today? Let's see. Okay, so John Michael is saying that after this, your goal is to start noticing like 2 things before you go to bed. Oh my gosh, I found $1 in my jean pocket. That must mean that things are coming my way. My manifestations are starting to flow. Or, oh, some cute person like smiled at me on my walk. That must mean my manifestations are working. Things are going well. Start noticing those small things. John Michael is saying that is how you will build from here. Okay. Okay, now I'm going to separate us. Separate you from me. Any matching pictures I shared. Okay, and now I'm completing any karma we may have incurred. Yeah, we had a lot of karma together, so thank you for showing up. Okay, great. Okay, let me see if there's any of the comments that I can get to. Why would I manifest haters? You manifest by what you focus on. So it's not that you want haters, right? But the universe doesn't hear yes and no. The universe pays attention to where your attention is. So if your attention is haters hating on me, then yes, we will make that, well, looks like your attention's on that, so we're just going to escalate it. So it's not about what you want and do want. It is not about what you want and don't want. It's about where you put your attention. Okay? It's not, people don't create things that are bad for them, right? Otherwise, you get what I'm saying. Okay. Oh, duh, someone else said that. Okay. Be yourself, out of sight, out of mind, taming the ego will unlock it all. Thank you, Louise. Thank you for popping in, everyone. That was super fun. Yeah, I hope you guys liked that. A live psychic reading. Those are getting kind of fun for me, so I might just change the tenor of a lot of these sessions. If you guys are interested in joining my intuitive psychic development course, the recordings will be released in July, probably in 2 weeks. So you can learn to do what I do and you can join the community. I'm finishing up the live class right now with those that are taking it with me, and then we'll move on from there to portion 2, where you learn how to heal yourself and others. So if you want to be a part of that live class 2, then it's important that you complete your curriculum before then. So reach out with any questions, and I'm just sending my love to you guys. I'm sending my hopes and my wishes and my powers to you, that your life gets happier and happier and better and better. Namaste.